Paula, come on up. Give her a round of applause, please.
Happy birthday to you. Thanks everybody for having me here. Hard to follow Sarah Jane. She's such an inspiration, such a young girl, an inspiration in the Web3 community for quite a number of years now. I'm going to talk about something extremely different, and that is Web3, the promises and then the lies. 2015 and 2016, there was a massive shift in Web2 internet. Platforms got mass adoption. Platforms, and I'll talk about one particular, Udemy, was a platform that many content creators made a lot of money on. I was one of them. And in 2016, they changed their policy overnight. From paying instructors 90% of the income to paying instructors 10% of the income. They could do this because they had mass adoption. They could do this because they have capitalized on the market. At this stage then, I tried to look for an alternative. And I came across these talks about Web3. I hadn't heard of crypto, I hadn't heard of blockchain, I had heard of Bitcoin, but this term Web3 really got me curious. And what I heard was that Web3 is about empowering individuals over institutions. Let me say that again. Web3 is about empowering individuals over institutions. We're going to do this with technology. Technology that provides autonomy, decentralization, transparency, and that's censorship resistant. Does anyone know where I'm going with this? Autonomy. That gives us the rights to our own data, our own ID, makes things permissionless. Decentralization. No one point of failure. Transparency. Code is open source, and everything is on the blockchain, you can verify. And then the censorship resistance. You're not going to be deplatformed. So to you and I, what does all that mean? Very simple. Freedom. I'll say it again. Freedom. Access to finance on the same terms as a privilege. Freedom to hold institutes accountable. And freedom to move across an interoperable web where we are free to choose and move between the algorithms we believe in. The biggest promise of all was to the content creators. After all, without content creators, we actually wouldn't have a Web 1, a Web 2, or even a Web 3. If there was no content creators, there'd be nothing for you to browse on the internet. But then, if there was no curators, there'd be nobody for the creators to share their content with. And then we've got the tech giants. If it wasn't for their platforms, how could we share their content? But these have monopolized, and they've made the creators, as I said, around 2016, they made them vanish. And they gave them less and less supply. Web 3 is going to solve this. I don't think that happened. 2013, the term Web 3 was coined. So that's older than theory. We haven't had mass adoption. For creators, what happened was, we said we'll have micropayments, we'll have NFTs, we'll have these royalties, these ongoing royalties. None of that happened. Instead, what actually happened, all the developers became creators. They all became artists. They all became experts in JPEG art. And the real artists got lost and noticed. As for decentralized finance and making it accessible to everybody, yeah, right. As long as you have a degree in technology and maybe a little bit of an understanding to general basic finance. As for freedom to hold institutions accountable with transparency, will we talk about the Children's Hospital? Could it be a perfect example of how blockchain could have been used? And an interoperable web where we are free to choose and move between blockchains and the algos we believe in. If you're in Basecamp, you're in Basecamp. If you're on the Solana team, you're on the Solana team. I don't really know what to say. And I've experienced this firsthand because as somebody that has not tied myself to a chain, I've been punished. For the last 5 years, I've run Block Crypto. Block Crypto provides education to Web3 users, end users, not developers. But because we wouldn't tie ourselves to any chain, we didn't get the supports, we didn't get the grants, we didn't get the incentives. But what we did do was onboard hundreds and hundreds of people to Web3. We believe the promise of Web3 is still worth building, but only if it serves the people and not serves the protocol. And that's why I'm launching the Web3 Impact event. This is an event where we're inviting Web3 communities from all chains to host a fundraising night on our platform. We're inviting people from Solana, from EVM, from Algorand. It actually doesn't matter. The goal is very simple. The aim is to raise as much money for charity as we can today. So next week we're holding a preview. I'd love all of you to attend. Please send me a DM and I'll send you an invite. But let me leave you now with one final reflection. Web3 was never just about decentralization. It was about rehumanizing the internet, about bringing power back to the people. That dream is not dead, but we have to stop pretending the tech will save us, and the people, and the values, and the work, that's what will save us.
Questions for Paula? You know, you have time, a little extra time for one or two.
What do you think is the best way to bring it together?
Join Web3.
Let's go.
Thank you, Paula. Now, next up, the famous and powerful Céilí.